Everyone, it's Cash Muller for another edition of CSN. Last week I posted shorts instead of my news video. My iPad storage was full. I had to airdrop all my stuff to my dad's phone. And that took some time. So, anyway, are the Kansas City Chiefs exploding from the inside? We'll discuss the explosive interactions at their training camp. And Dan Campbell was seen doing push-ups with his team. You don't see a coach do that every day. Dallas drama again. More Dallas drama. But this time, I'm going to really break it down from a 13-year-old standpoint. Oh yeah, and guess what? Courtland Sutton's coming back to Denver, baby. The Broncos are in a very good spot. But what did Vance Joseph say that could involve my Buffaloes? That's coming up and more next on CSN. Alright, and we are back. And we're going to be starting off with the Chiefs are exploding. You heard me right. The Chiefs are exploding from the inside. Sorry for the hiccups. I woke up with the hiccups this morning. So, guess what? One player hits another player. Boom. And then another player decides, oh, I have an idea. I'm going to go get this guy back. Boom. And then we get a little chippy and a little nippy. Yeah. So the Chiefs are pretty much exploding. And there you have it. Alright, there you go. That's the Chiefs thing. Next on the list. Brandon Ayuk, despite last week's request for a trade from the 49ers, he will practice for the 49ers. Which is very, very confusing. And I'll explain why. When a player asks for a trade, he usually means, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to have anything to do with your team anymore. But the NFL's a business. And in this case, he just wants the money. And the 49ers are now going to pay it to him. He's going to get an extension at some point in the coming weeks. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see how much he gets, but I'm pretty sure they're going to give him what he wants because he's going to practice for them. So, there you have that. Alright. We're going to stay in the NFL, and we're going to be talking about Courtland Sutton. He gets an extension. Yes! Go Broncos. They're going to be really, really tough to beat. Courtland Sutton, if you've never heard his name, you're probably going to hear his name a lot this season because he is probably our best cornerback, one of our best cornerbacks. And that was a huge deal that we got him inked to come back to Denver. So that is just hallelujah that we got him back. But Vance Joseph, our defense coordinator, did say this. He wants another cornerback. What does that mean? Does it mean Travis Hunter? Could Travis Hunter be a Bronco next year? I definitely think that it's a possibility. I think that the Broncos, if they're smart, they should go for Hunter. That would mean they'd have to tank this year in order to do that. So, I mean, if they start losing like easy games, then we'll all say, okay, they're going for Hunter. And then next year they're going to be unbelievably good. So, I don't think that there's a bad possibility that Denver gets Travis Hunter, but I don't think there's a very high possibility, but there's a possibility there. So there you have it. Courtland Sutton, Travis Hunter. If those two play together in the NFL, That's going to be a fighting defensive force. Anyway, that is all done, and whoa! I was just alerted that we have breaking news from the coldest place in the country to play to one of the hottest places in the country to play. 2 QBs apparently have gotten 4-year extensions. We got breaking news coming up next. Alright, breaking news, folks. Jordan Love and Tua Tagovailoa get 4-year extensions on their contract. I repeat, Tua Tagovailoa will be staying in Miami. Repeat, he will be staying in Miami. He got a 4-year, $200 million plus contract, I believe. Jordan Love got a 4-year, $220 million contract for the Green Bay Packers. Earlier this week, Jordan Love said, I'm not going to practice for Green Bay unless they give me a new deal. And guess what? They gave him a new deal. These are 2 quarterbacks that have very high potential to continue in the NFL years to come. Matt LaFleur, he's done a great job. However you say his name, Matt LaFleur, call him LaFleur. But he's done a great job coaching Jordan Love, and Jordan's got big shoes to fill. He's got 2 goats that came before him. And Tua staying in Miami doesn't really shock me that much. I mean, maybe 2 years ago saying that Tua was gonna get a 4-year extension, I'd be like, we'll see. But yeah, they have definitely come through and given him a payday. So good for him. Speaking of extensions, we are going to Dallas. And when there's Dallas, there's drama. Right? So let's get on with it. Lamb is holding out training camp. Dak Prescott acknowledged that playing for another team other than Dallas is a reality now. So what are the Cowboys coming to? I don't know. But here's the hypothesis. Earlier this week, they said they were prioritizing Lamb over Dak Prescott. And I can totally understand that. CeeDee Lamb still shows up for that moment. When Dak throws him that football, he gets the job done. When Dak needs to do something, he doesn't get the job done.
Not built for the moment, I see.
So, I mean, this is just not... I mean, I don't even know why we're talking about Dak Prescott even staying in Dallas. We all know Shedeur is going to be in Dallas next year. I've made that very clear. He's going to be a Cowboy next year. And no matter how much you Cowboys fans think that's not going to happen, it's going to happen. And you guys are probably going to tank to get Shedeur Sanders. So, really, this year, you got to trust Jerry Jones. He got Ezekiel Elliott back and another really good player. Sure, they only spent $5 million this offseason, but think about what they spent in the previous seasons. Those previous seasons were they spent a lot of money those last few seasons. The only reason that they've botched this offseason is they haven't spent a ton of money on good players. And now we might have that lead where that's going. Like, why isn't he spending as much money? Because next year he wants to pay Shedeur, probably. If Mike McCarthy's gonna stay in Dallas, then he's gonna have to coach your team. But I'm not thinking right now, I can already say it right now, Dak Prescott, unless he goes and gets to the NFC Championship game with Mike McCarthy, If Mike McCarthy makes the good calls and Prescott makes the bad calls, or if they both make the bad calls, McCarthy's going out, Prescott's going out if they both make bad calls. If they both make good calls, who knows if they don't make the NFC Championship game, it don't matter. So, if they don't make the NFC Championship game, Prescott's out. Really, all I can see is Prescott's out. And we've all seen his really good potential. But right now, it's not the time to be grabbing a Prescott jersey at this time. Not deterring you from any support of Prescott. I like the quarterback, but he's not going to be the quarterback in Dallas next year. So anyway, there's all the Dallas drama for you folks. We're going to move to college football. UCLA is doomed. I will rehearse the UCLA speech from their head coach at the Big Ten Football Media Days. It is terrible, folks. That's coming up next. Alright, and we are back. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about the Big Ten Media Days. We Buffs fans don't like Nebraska, and that's just a fact. I've said that in my last videos. But you did make a pretty good point this last week. The Big Ten is the NFL of college football. Well, let's see. I'd actually say that the Big 12 is the NFL of college football. I mean, sure, you have Michigan, you got Ohio State. His team's got a fairly easy schedule. Now he's going to say, oh, we're going to be so good. Yes. If it's the NFL of college football, then why are we saying that Nebraska is going to be so good? Just saying, Rutgers is not going to be easy. Even Illinois isn't going to be easy. And guess what? There's not that many easy teams in the Big Ten anymore. Like he said. And the same goes for the Big 12. But a lot of teams are sleeping on Colorado. And I've noticed that. So, and if Matt Rule decides to sleep on Colorado, let him do that. We can go into Lincoln and stomp all over his Cornhuskers. We're going to go to the other part of the Big Ten Media Days. We're going to be talking about UCLA's head coach. His speech. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you his speech. Well, I'm glad you're all here today. I'm sure you don't know much about UCLA, but we're in LA. I'm really excited. I like this team. Any questions? And that's how you impersonate the UCLA head coach's speech. UCLA, you are doomed. What is he talking about? Like he's saying, I don't know if you know this, but UCLA is in LA. It's in the name! And you don't hear that high-pitched voice a lot. UCLA, University of California at LA. We're in LA. He literally spoke 4 sentences. While other coaches were like, yeah, these are big statements. This guy made one big headline because of his ridiculous speech. Sorry, UCLA, you're doomed. You're never gonna... I'm gonna just put an apostrophe. UCLA is doomed. There you go. We're gonna go out to the Atlantic Coast Conference. Dabo Swinney, the Clemson head coach, said, if I wasn't at Clemson, I'd be the best recruiter college football's ever had. Well, you have to have a few things line up. You'd have to be at CU. And then you'd have to have Prime back at Jackson State. And that's not happening right now. So, there you have it. That dream really detonated on itself fairly quickly. Alright. Coming up, Dan Campbell was seen doing what with his team? That's the sign of a real head coach. And what did the Suns owner say? Someday. Coming up next. Alright, we are back. The Suns owner said, and I quote, "I hope to bring the NHL back to Arizona someday." We all know about the demise of the Arizona Coyotes. They did not have an arena. I don't know why Phoenix couldn't have just shared an arena with them. Because it wasn't under same ownership or something? Like, or for your fellow Arizona teams. That's so sad that you didn't share with a fellow Arizona team. Well, the Coyotes kind of stink, so they probably didn't want them to smell up the Suns' future. So, there you have it. But one day the Coyotes will probably return. Hopefully they'll return. I don't really care if they return. Not they're an Avalanche. My Avalanche don't like the Coyotes no matter what. Alright. Last headline of the day. Dan Campbell was seen doing what? Push-ups with his team. Dan Campbell, ever since he became the head coach, this first season was a little, let's say, not so hot. Now, the Lions have the fourth best odds to win the Super Bowl, behind San Francisco, Kansas City, and Baltimore. Those are the only three teams that are ahead of them. So pretty much they have the second best chance to win the NFC. So Dan Campbell is legit. He talks about biting kneecaps, folks. You gotta be a little afraid of that guy. I will tell you that right now. It'd be really. Yeah, I like him. I am truly a big fan of Dan Campbell. He is really, really legit. And one time, even during an interview with someone, he used the furniture as an object. And he was about to, I'm not going to do it, but he used the furniture to just show him how the defense is going to play. So I'd be a little afraid if I were opponents going into Detroit Lions games. I have a huge announcement. We are literally 5 days away. 5 days away, baby, from the Hall of Fame game. 5 days. 5 days away from the Hall of Fame game. You excited? I will be. So here's the deal. You better set your ringers, because that day I'm not going to be going on live, but I will be setting it on as a premiere. I will be setting it on as a YouTube premiere for that day. So I'll film it probably like Tuesday or Wednesday, and then I'll just hit the premiere button for when it begins. And yeah, we'll be counting down. Bears Texans in Canton, Ohio. It's gonna be a really fun game. Could we see Caleb Williams? We're gonna be breaking down all this stuff next Thursday on CSN. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I didn't do it that time. I really scared you, didn't I? Alright. Anyway. See you next time. God bless you all.